蔵さんの書斎のドアノブはサソリの魔法陣が描かれていて、それは西洋魔術では魔除けを意味する。だから西洋魔女のベアトリーチェはドアノブに触れられない。これは理解できるんです。でもクモの巣に限ってはベアトリーチェが嫌う理由がありません。私の知る限りでも西洋魔女の苦手なものに、むしろクモは魔女の仲間や眷属では？思うに悪事木島伝説の悪霊と魔女伝説のベアトリーチェ、この2つの異なる伝説が少し混交しているように思います。
Oh yeah, who would have thought?
いいえ、混交どころか融合かもしれません。悪事木島伝説はロッケン島周辺の暗礁を恐れた漁民たちが生み出したおとぎ話。しかし悪事木島に住まう悪霊なる者には具体的なビジュアルイメージが伴っていませんでした。人なのか怪物なのか、はたまた足のない幽霊なのか、さっぱりイメージがありません。人はビジュアルを伴わない空想を苦手とします。そこにベアトリーチェという魔女の伝説が登場した。悪霊よりは魔女の方が想像しやすい存在です。しかもその上、金蔵さんはベアトリーチェの肖像画を描かせ掲示しました。つまり悪事木島伝説の一番の弱点、たたる悪霊のビジュアルイメージが初めて保管されたわけです。そこからいつの間にか2つの伝説が混じり合っていってしまったのではないでしょうか。
Okay.
どうでございましょうね。この老いぼれには少し難しい話にございます。
Kumasawa laughed to smooth it over, wiping away a cold sweat. She might have seemed confused, but she actually did understand what Eriko was saying. In truth, she had been vaguely aware of how the legend of the area, which had been around before Ushirimiya Kinto had come to Rokenjima. In the legend of the Golden Witch, the story of the woman who had given Kinto a vast amount of quantity of gold had been both transformed. She didn't want to acknowledge it, but she knew. The setting where Beatrice hated the spear mirror and spider webs, this had been based on the ancient legend. The evil spirit part of the legend had just been replaced by the witch of the portrait.
もし黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェを自称する人物がいたとして、彼女が本当にクモの巣を嫌うのかどうか、ぜひ聞いてみたいものです。触れるとどうなるんでしたっけ？
魔女の眷属はクモの巣に触れるとやけどを負うそうですから、多分そうなるんじゃないかと。
いいじゃないですか、それ。見事な魔女裁判です。クモの巣に触れてやけどするならば、それは悪霊の方であって魔女ではない。そして触れても何も起こらないのであれば、ただの人間であることの証。
Yeah, I can't wait to start touching people with spider webs.
つまりやけどしようがしなかろうが、黄金の魔女など存在しないという証になります。魔女伝説なんて所詮悪事木島伝説が装いを変えただけの焼き直しに過ぎないのです。ただ伝説がそこにあるだけで、フルドエリカはこの程度の推理が可能です。いかがです、皆様方？
No one cares. Though only two of them were in the lounge, Erica faced in the direction in an invisible audience that would have been there if there was one, and shrugged. And to match Erica's imagination, the two of them were there, listening in.
クモの巣ですか？触れるとやけどを？
When Beato, the elders, Jesus, too many spiders, the elder snapped her fingers, a single graceful spider slipped between from the ceilings and hanging from a transparent thread. Afterwards, only a single silver thread strand Timidly, Beato stretched her finger out towards the spider's string. Then she touched it.
平気です。
平気なのか。
That's because she's not evil.
え？
Beato the elder lifted up a white, pale finger, and after showing it to her little sister, she traced the silver string with it. There was a stench like a single hair being burned. Once again, she held up her finger up in front of Beato, who was dumbfounded. Then there was a thin burn line, as though someone had traced across it with a razor.
これはどういうことですか？
わらわが聞きたい。どうしてそなたは平気なのか。
わかりません。むしろ逆に、どうしてお姉様が蜘蛛の巣に触れると火傷をするのかわかりません。
わからない。わらわが自らの存在を意識した時からそういうことになっていた。
ではお姉様は。
Beato hesitated. However, her question was clear.
違う。わらわは悪食島の悪霊などではない。わらわはドッケン島の夜を支配する魔女ベアトリーチェである。どうしてこの島の太古の悪霊と同じ弱点を持つのかはわらわにもわからぬ。
苦手なのは蜘蛛の巣だけですか？
エリカとやらが言うように金蔵の書斎のドアノブもダメだ。あのサソリの魔法陣はわらわを焼く。わらわにとって金蔵の書斎の扉を開けようとするのは真っ赤に焼けた蹄鉄を家中に拾うも同じこと。そなたはどうか。
サソリの魔法陣ですか？
The older sister snapped her fingers again. Then, when she did, the surrounding scene bent and twisted, and they had suddenly moved to the place in front of Kinzo's study. And there was a doorknob engraved with the scorpion magic circle.
魔術を研究するものならば、人的にも霊的にも隔絶された隠れ家が必須となる。金蔵が自らの書斎を閉ざし、このような魔除けを施したとしても不思議はない。そしてそれは困ったことに、わらわにもこうして効果がある。
She gently grasped the doorknob. As she did, a violent burning sound, unbelievably stronger than the one caused by the spiderweb, rang out.
お姉様、大丈夫ですか？
No, it's fine. Her hand had been horribly burned, and Beato couldn't help but avert her eyes.
安心せよ。これしきすぐ治る。
Apparently, it would heal by itself if left alone. The older sister seemed to heal in an inhuman rate.
だがそなたはどうやら平気らしいな。
She timidly poked the doorknob. Nothing happened. Slowly, she touched it with her entire palm, but she felt nothing but a pleasantly cool sensation.
不思議だ。
It's because she's not a witch yet, then.
そなたはわらわの分身であるにもかかわらず、わらわとは様々なものが異なっている。
逆にドアノブに触れても平気ですが、お姉様のような火傷を負ったら私は簡単には治らないと思います。
まるで普通の人間のようであるな。
はい、私自身自分が魔女だとはちょっと信じきれていません。私にはお姉様のように魔法を使うこともできないし、不思議な火傷も、そしてすぐに傷を治すこともできません。お父様は私を偉大なる魔女の生まれ変わりだと信じてくださいましたが、私にはそれが信じられなくて。
そなたは何者なのか。
I got no idea. But I need to check the system, though. Is there anything else over here? I want to see if they're on the human side or not. Nothing there. This thing's getting filled out, though. No, nothing. Okay. Oh, it's just that. Ah, I love the stakes. Let's start with her. Wait, anything him? Seeing this, his victory will be acknowledged, and Beato's game will reach its end because he knows the truth on the plane of which he exists is higher than all of those of all others. Interesting. Beatrice the Elder, a mysterious witch who existed even before the rules. She has the same name as Beato, but she wasn't given the goal of devoting herself to Battler, the final vision of the witch sealed away by Kinzo. She spent her days pulling small pranks and clearing away the magic-resisting toxin, all for the sake of her resurrection. She is similar to the evil spirits in many ways, such as her fear of spiderwebs. She is the one who gave Shannon the golden butterfly brooch. Okay. The new witch was revived due to a rule. She has now lived 1,000 years, and her behavior is vastly different from how it once was. She is a witch who doesn't even know how to use magic. However, she has no fear of magical circles or spiderwebs. It's almost as though she's just a human. She's attached to Battler and makes her goal to do whatever she can for him. Any new tips? No.
私はベアトリーチェ。お父様のために生まれてきました。お姉様は？わらわもまたベアトリーチェ。金蔵に魔法にて黄金を授け、その後も魂となって島に縛り付けられている体を失った魔女である。私たちは一体何者なんでしょう。わらわと違い、そなたは体を持つ存在のように見える。え、そうなんですか？あのエリカとやらの話を聞いて、わらわはふと思った。魔女であり、魔法が使えるが体を持たぬわらわと、そして魔女であるが魔法は使えず肉の体を持つそなた。わらわたちはやがて一つになり、掛け合った部分を埋め合って本当のベアトリーチェとして完成されるのではないだろうか。
It did seem plausible. Both the Beatrices were missing something, and if they became one, surely they would be very close to the Beatrice Battler desires.
試してみるか。
We're gonna combine.
手を出せ。
The older sister slowly raised her palm and held it out before Beato. The large burn from a second ago really had started to heal already.
わらわたちは一つになれるかもしれぬ。わらわも知りたい。そなたと一つになることで未来のわらわを知りたい。
Beato also slowly raised her hand, and the two hands touched. But nothing happened. Perhaps this meant that while they were fated to become one eventually, that time had not yet come.
わらわにとって雲の巣が苦手なのは当たり前なこと。しかしそなたはそれを知りもしなかった。同様にそなたは自分が生まれてきた理由をお父様のためだという。そのお父様というのはどうやら後ろ宮バトラのことらしい。わらわも年に数度しか訪れぬ稀な客人である彼のことは知っているが、その稀な客人の彼とそなたというわらわにどのような接点があるのか理解できぬ。わらわたちは互いをもっと知るべきに違いない。そうですね。私たちは互いを知り合うことで本当に大切なことに至れる気がします。その向こうにいるのが一なる未来のベアトリーチェ。いや、それこそがわらわたちのあるべき正しい姿に違いない。
With their hands still joined, the two Beatrices swore to fill in the parts the other lacked and regain their single form. Bit by bit, Beato was walking down that path that led to the former Beatrice. I mean, it's going to be sad though, because Beatrice was pretty damaged. I don't know if you'd want to. Like, even if that's what Battler wants, it doesn't mean that it should happen. The eerie sound of the wind and rain. Once again, I hazily regain consciousness on top of the bed. The finger that the witch had bitten off was still attached. Oh god, stop. It didn't say it was all an illusion, just that it was still attached. After all, the pain and the teeth marks as though the witch had bitten it were still there. And yet the window which I had supposedly smashed had been fixed as though it had never been broken in the first place. How can I escape this creepy room? Why am I locked up in this eerie room all alone? I want to get out. I have to get out. Let me out of here. The door was sealed with a firm chain. I could open it a crack, but only enough to peek out into the corridor at best. It would probably be hard even to get a fist through it. The window wouldn't budge either. It was no better than a barred prison window. The bathroom didn't even have a window. The only thing that could get out of there was the water that flowed out if I turned on the tap. No matter what I do, I can't think of a way out of there. Being shut up in a place like this makes me a true prisoner. A place like this makes me a true prisoner. Okay. Unless someone comes from outside to save me, I won't be able to get out of here for all eternity. In that case, can't I just call for help? Yeah, the tiny gap I can make in the door must exist so that I can call for help. But can I make the words come out? Earlier I tried to call out for help, but for some reason the words wouldn't escape my mouth. I might have made some kind of mistake. I might have just lost my voice in my haste and confusion. I'll open the door and make that crack appear one more time. The warm light of the hallway flowed in, making the darkness of the room stand out all the more. Though I couldn't hear any voices, I did feel something peaceful. I'm sure everyone's in the room at the other end of the hallway chatting happily about something. If I can just call out, surely someone will come to save me. Holding back some indescribable fear, I tried yelling out once more. But the result was the same. It was all like trying to yell underwater. All I did was get out of breath and unable to call out in the slightest. Even though I could say as much as I wanted, if I just grumbled to myself inside the room. Whenever I tried to make my voice reach outside, I choked and was unable to say anything. I understand. My body isn't the only thing locked up in this eerie closed room. My voice is too. Thinking that I could use some kind of other kind of sound to call for help, I tried opening and closing the door violently, making the chain rattle. It does sound as though it's making a noisy clanking sound, but surely no good. Even this sound is being locked inside this closed room. No matter how harsh a sound I make, I'm sure it'll be quieter than a leaf falling by the time it reaches the other end of the corridor. Break off a chair leg and hurl it down the hallway, and hopefully try to hit the door. I tried using the hateful chain that sealed the door to make a sound to call for someone, but that only deepened my despair. This chain. That's insane. Even though just a second ago it was a stiff chain that looked like it was used to seal a monster away, at some point it had transformed into a normal chain lock. This changes everything. Now I can just undo it from the inside. I tried to undo it, but the chain wasn't long enough for that while the door was still open a crack and I couldn't get it off. Of course. Calm down. I gulped and calmly closed the door. Then when I saw that the chain had slackened enough, I touched it with my fingers to make sure. When I was little, I hated chains because I could never get them undone right. However, that was a long time ago. Now I can undo something like this. Anyone could do it. It's easy. I had a vision of the demon who had locked me in this room, using this as a trap to give me hope and make me despair even more. But I pushed through those thoughts aside for the time being. I undid the lock, and the chain dangled there right before my eyes. Now there's no lock sealing this door. Please don't torment me anymore, and just open normally. Slowly the door opened. I closed the door in order to undo the chain, so the warm light from the hallway had been cut off. If I open it again, what if the warm light is gone this time? I was even afraid of that. However, that was just me over-imagining things. Slowly, quickly. No, I guess this is normal for a door. As the door let out an annoying creak, the exit from this cursed room finally opened. I did it! Even my cry of joy was strangled, but that doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is that I can get out. I poked my head out and looked left and right down the corridor, the warm corridor. I could sense people having fun at the other end. Everyone's right there. Let's go, right now. What? At that moment, something cold and heartless crushed my throat. It was as though an iron loop had been fastened around my neck and pulled on hard from behind. No, not as though. Without my knowing, at some point, a thick metal collar had been fastened around my neck. What the fuck? When did this happen? When I turned around, I despaired even more. Up from the inner side of the door I had just opened, a thick chain had extended and attached itself to my collar. I pulled on it, but it wouldn't even budge. When I shook it, the whole door creaked. What the hell? The chain had connected to my collar was attached to the inner side of the door. Yeah. The same vanishing chain had been secured the door a short while back. It suddenly became a chain holding me in place. That's insane. Damn it, what's going on here? I pulled on with all my strength, trying to tear the whole door off. But I already knew that repeated experiments that it wouldn't even budge. I'm sure this chain will disappear once I go back inside the room. But it will never let me leave the room. Though it appeared to revert to being a normal chain lock, nothing had actually changed. The fact that the chain lock still bound me to that room. Ugh. Tears flowed down my face. I pulled with all I had. It was completely useless. No matter what I did, I'd never tear it loose. I wasn't even permitted to call out for help. I felt a confused anger at how the demon had mercilessly made me think that I'd escape for just an instant. But no matter how much I yelled, no voice came out, and no one on the other end of the corridor could hear me. Then I noticed an odd stain on the wall of the corridor. It wasn't a stain. They were letters traced out by a finger that had been covered in red paint. Those letters, which looked like they had been drawn in blood, answered my biggest question. The chain lock must be set. You're allowed to unset it, but it must then be reset. Unless it is set, this exit of yours will be unusable. I instantly understood the meaning of that ominous message. Well, I tried it out and understood completely. When I returned to the room and reset the lock, the binding around my neck disappeared. When I undid the chain lock again, that heavy feeling around my neck returned. In other words, I cannot leave this room while the chain lock is still unset. In that case, why can't I just set the chain while outside the room? I undid the chain one more time. The collar and chain had appeared around my neck again. I stepped out in the corridor and closed the door behind me, leaving only the slightest of cracks. Stuck my hand through the crack and grabbed the dangling chain and tried to reset it somehow. Damn it. Even though it was so easy to do from the inside, why is it so hard to do from the outside? The gap needed to be wide if I wanted to manipulate the chain well. However, that made the chain too short to reach. To make the chain just reach a little bit further, I'd have to close the door a little bit more. But if I do that, there won't be enough of a gap to fit my hand in. Of course, it was perfectly natural. Chain locks are made to be done from the inside. They'd be completely pointless if you could set and unset them from the outside. That's why the length of the chain is especially chosen to prevent anyone from setting or unsetting it from the outside. Then can I use some kind of harder and thin tool? the gap in the door is just a finger's width across, there is more than enough for the chain to reach. If I could just bend a wire hanger so that it fits through the crack and work the chain with that. That's right, there's a closet just on the other side of the door. Could there be some hangers in there? Found one. Oh, thank God. A single cheap-looking hanger, like one you might find in a laundry room, was hanging there. Really? I'm pretty sure that when I last looked a short while ago, nothing like this was in the closet. Who cares? Quickly. I twisted the wire hanger, bending the end with the tip around it. I formed a loop at the end and grabbed at things with it, making it for a sort of burglar's tool. Then I dashed out the corridor again and closed the door almost as far as I would go. My wrist could never pass through this. However, if I close it this much, the chain should have an extra length to spare. And this crack is large enough for me to stick the hanger through. Now it's just a matter of technique. I'll definitely be able to do it if I try enough times, I'm certain of it. It's harder than it looks, but the chain is long enough. It isn't impossible. I'd finally gotten my hands on the one way to escape. It was hard, yes, but it was theoretically possible. If it is possible, I'll be able to get out. I'll be able to escape from here. What? That moment I felt a heavy weight on the far side of the door. It felt as though someone inside the room had pressed their forehead against the door and was drawing closer. And she, the witch, had laughed. Then I felt a powerful and strange force on the wire hanger. She's trying to grab it away from me? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. Like hell, I'll let go. Like hell, I'll be able to. Let my one key out of here get stolen from one of my guards down. Fortunately, I stuck my wrist through it so that I could drop it if my hand got tired. You won't be able to snatch this out of my hands. The witch on the other side of the door watched me and laughed. Then I noticed something weird. I looked at my left hand, which had been pressed against the door, and held it in place. And between the fingers of that hand, I could see something red. They were red letters. I realized immediately. At some point in time, even more bloody letters had been drawn on the door. My left hand had been covered them up. Still, frightened beyond, fighting against the vice-like strength of the witch beyond the door, I moved my left hand to the side. Where that hand had been, bloody letters had been drawn. It was as though someone had predicted that I'd struggle this way from the very beginning. A message from the witch to me. It is impossible to set or unset the chain lock from the outside by any means. All tricks done from the corridor have been sealed by the red letters. No way. There was a sudden terrible sound, and the force that had been pulling on the hanger was suddenly released. Then when I pulled it out and looked, I lost all hope. As though it had been hit by acid in the room's darkness, the tip of the hanger had burned and bubbled and melted off. Now it's pitifully short. This can't be used for anything. It would be useless to search for a substitute. All schemes to close the chain from the outside have been sealed. Damn it. I threw the remnants of the wire hanger against the floor and faced the hallway filled with a warm light and called for help. However, I just choked, unable to speak at all. Everyone's just down the corridor, and everything's peaceful there. I can't hear their voices, but I know. I'm sure they're all having a fun time playing cards. Please, someone notice. Someone save me. Ah! This time it wasn't the witch's voice. It was the happy voices of everyone else, which I could hear from the other side of the hallway. Someone come over here and save me. Okay, this stuff is just weird as hell. Those whole scenes, I'm not sure what they're supposed to be showing. I'm really confused about that. Oh, you son of a bitch. George slammed his last card down, ending the game with his victory once again. Okay, this is the 80th time, dude. Can you at least give Can you at least go easy a little bit?